Welcome to this legs and butt series. All you're going to need is a loop band, or you can have like a few loop bands, different tensions and things. If you don't have loop bands, you could use ankle weights or holding weights, or no weights, just body weight is great too. We're going to get started. So we're going to start with the band around our ankles today. And now shuffle over to the end of your mat, standing nice and tall. We're going to flex our feet. With a flexed foot, you're going to step out, and then other foot follows. So stepping to one side, other foot follows. So this is just a little warm up. We're going to start to feel our side thighs, glutes turn on. You might feel your quads, who knows? Every body is different. And then when you get to the one side of your mat, we're going to walk back. So I'm using, it's called a heavy. Out of my 5, it's a 3 out of the 5, so kind of middle, though they call it heavy. So as you can see, I'm getting a little bit of give, but it's not too light. So that's what I'm working with today. So we're going to do this, actually, we're going to sit down now. Let's sit down. Turn our toes slightly out, little side step, oops, and then back in. So now we're going to turn on the front of our legs a little bit more, get our quads warmed up. Yes, so if you are finding this like impossible and your band is way tighter than mine, you can maybe switch it or, keep the pressure. And if your band is way too easy, maybe find a little bit harder. You can also double up bands if you really want a challenge. And then when you get to the bottom of your mat again, we are going to pause, bring it up above our knees, and we're going to do kind of that same one we started with. So now we're standing up nice and tall, feet are flexed, and we're going to do a side step and out, side step and out. I do have fabric bands too. I find them good for certain things, but some things they're like way too tough. And then out to the side. Start thinking of that breathing in through the nose, out through pursed lips. And then we're going to do that same thing as we did when the band was around our ankles. So now we're going to sit down, toes slightly turned out, and our sidewalks. Full breaths, those 360-degree breaths, filling up our lungs, feeling our ribs expand through our backs as well. Nice. Okay, so when you're at the bottom of your mat, we can be done with that section right now. We're going to come onto our backs for some bridging. So band around the knees. Let's have our feet wide enough that we have a decent tension on the band. Start with your arms on the ground today, and we'll start with a nice little warm-up of articulated bridging. So that's where we're going to curl up bone by bone. So prepare with an inhale. As you exhale, start scooping that low belly, curling your tailbone forward, rolling up through your spine, bone by bone. When you get to the top here, pause for a second. Think of reaching your knees far away from your shoulders. And then coming down bone by bone with control. So that bra band area first, mid back, low back, tailbone, bum last. Inhale. As you exhale, scooping that low belly, curling up bone by bone, nice and controlled. Pause at the top for a second. Then come down bone by bone through the spine. Let's just do one more of these. Kind of a little warm up. Coming down bone by bone. Nice. All right. So now we're going to come up. Pause at the top here. Option to have either just the backs of your arms on the mat or no arms. And we are going to, actually we're going to do opposite. So we're going to flare out our right knee, bring it back in. Flare out our left knee, bring it back in. right, and in, left, and in. So just alternating legs here, trying to keep the other one steady. Keeping our hips level as we do this, and lifted. Using your breath, and shoulders and jaw relaxed for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay at the top. We're going to do our hip dips. So thinking like you have a marble on, let's say, your right hip, you're going to roll it over to your left hip, dropping your left hip down slightly. Now roll that marble back over to your right hip, so you're dropping your right hip down slightly. So we're just rolling our marble back and forth, back and forth. So as you do this, your chest is staying pretty still, trying to keep it in our pelvic area. Kind of like squeezing one butt cheek more than the other. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center, hips are level, and we're going to go down an inch, up an inch, just pulsing it out here. Then we'll sit down for a second, or sit our butt down for a second. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down. You can sway your knees side to side or hug them in, whatever feels nice. Okay, so now I'm going to bring my feet about hip distance apart and about a hand's distance from my bum. Prepare with an inhale. As you exhale, coming up, let's transfer the weight to our left foot. Bring our right leg up to tabletop. Tap our right foot down. Transfer the weight now to our right foot. Bring our left leg up to tabletop. Tap it down. So all we're doing is alternating our marching legs while trying to keep our hips level and keep them up. So I always find like mentally thinking like transferring the weight to that foot, taking my time, keeps my hips level and me in control. Bad thing about these elastic bands is they start to kind of wander around, especially if you're wearing leggings. One more march on each side. Make sure you're even, if you remember what leg you started on. And then lowering down for a second. That's where the fabric bands are good, when they have the kind of the sticky stuff on the back. But as I said, fabric bands, like at least mine, are so tough I can barely like separate my legs. Okay. Prepare with an inhale. As you exhale, coming up. So now we're going to work on just one leg. So let's transfer the weight to our left leg. Bring our right leg up to tabletop. We're going to reach our right leg up to the ceiling and then lower our right leg. So that's kind of our thighs are in line, and then right leg comes up. Lowering right leg and lifting. Lowering and lifting. Reach that leg long, lengthening. Think of reaching that left knee far away from your shoulders. Just 2 more. And 1. Keep that right leg up, and we're just going to do little pulses. Reach the ceiling. Let's flex our foot like we're going to kick the ceiling. You got it. You're pressing through that left leg. You can press into your arms to help. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that right leg down. You can drop down if you need a change, if you need a break. I'm just going to go right to the other side. So I'm planting my right leg now. Left leg comes up to tabletop. Left leg reaches towards the ceiling, pointing our toes, reaching long and lifting towards the ceiling. Reach long and lift. Think of those hips lifting. Check in with your shoulders and your jaw. You're staring at the ceiling straight above. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we have our pulses. So now we're going to flex our foot like we're stepping on the ceiling. You got it. Press through that right leg. Reach with your left. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Nice work. Coming up. Okay. Let's start. Oh, I don't know what side. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to start with on my right side. Coming down to my right. I'll start with some clams. Clams are nice. Okay, so in our side lying, it's always important to get our setup correct. So we want to have our neutral spine. So I'm not in like a fetal position. I'm not, hunched over. And think of lengthening, reaching away from your hips. My hips are stacked. My shoulders are squared forwards. My feet are kind of in line with my bum for my clam. And we're going to lift, open for our clam, and lower. Lift and lower. Keeping those hips stacked. And we've just got 5 here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So now in this position, we're going to open up our feet as well. We're going to do that leg lift and lower. Lift and lower. And I'm not actually tapping my leg down because I want to kind of keep the band on. So I know it's like really tempting and I'm doing it, looking at your legs, but you just do want to be mindful. You're not always bending your neck. You kind of want to keep it in that natural position of straight. We've got 4 here, and 3, 2, and 1. Whew, I need a little break. I don't know about you. Okay, so now we're going to do our bend and stretch. So our leg's going to come up into that position. I'm actually going to walk my bottom foot out a little bit more, so it's kind of in a 90 degree. So our top leg is up, and we're going to reach. This is our stretch part. We're stretching. I'm flexing through my foot, so I'm reaching my heel far away, and my ankle, knee, and hip are all at about the same height, and they're going to stay at the height as I bend it in to tabletop position and stretch. So this is another Pilates, especially on the reformer, you can do this move called a bend and stretch. And I always find, well, most people find when you are reaching through your heel, that helps to turn on your butt more. Some people really feel like their hip flexor is working. So if you really think of pressing through your heel, that helps to take it a little bit out of your hip and more into your butt. We've just got 3 more here. For 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to lower down. Now we're going to turn onto our hands and knees. So the best way I find to use the band on your hands and knees is make a little kind of sandwich with your non-working leg. So I'm keeping to work my left leg. That's what I was just working. So I'm going to put the band underneath my right knee cap. So my right knee is sandwiching the band between the mat. Okay, so we're going to do some donkey kicks to start. So we're going to do kicking up, like I'm kicking towards the ceiling and then bringing it back down. As I'm doing this, I'm thinking of keeping my shoulders and hips square to the mat. And just being careful not to lock my elbows. And my neck is nice and long. I'm not looking forwards or under me. We've got 3 here for 3, 2, and 1. Fun noises. Okay, now I'm going to drop my right forearm. I'm going to reach my left leg out nice and long, called our egg beater one. So we're going to tap our left toes down and then bring them back up. So it's kind of like you're doing like almost like a half rainbow here. This is good oblique work as well. Actually, I find it more oblique work than leg work. I'm cinching that left side waist. We've got 4, 3, 2, and last one. And now we're going to just do this right on the other side since we're already in this position. So we're kind of work backwards here. So try to get set up here. Sandwich now the band under your other knee. So for me, that's my left knee is going to do the sandwiching. My right leg is going to be the one doing the donkey kicks. So I'm going to tuck it in, donkey kick towards the ceiling. Tucking it in, donkey kicking up. And anytime if you need to drop down to your forearms, totally welcome to do that. We've got 5 on this side. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we do our egg beater. Hopefully I don't hit things. I'm gonna move over a little bit here. Okay, left forearm's coming down, right leg's coming up. Right leg's gonna tap to the side and then sweep back up. So I'm doing my quarter or like half rainbow here. Again, that now for me, my right side waist is really working between bottom right ribs and right hip. Got 4 here for 4. 3 mine are kind of janky because I'm working under the reformer for 2. And last one. And then we will roll over to our other side. So the opposite side that you were on before. Don't want to work that same leg again. Okay. So we started with our clams. So lying down in that neutral position again. My feet are in line with my butt and start opening and closing. So hips are stacked and squared forwards, shoulders squared forwards. And we have 5 more of these. It's kind of like a little side warm up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to do our entire leg, lifting them now and lowering. And again, I'm not really like resting my leg down, and I'm also not resting at the top. It's kind of just like a fluid up and down motion, or a constant motion, I guess I should say. It's so nice. It's still light out. I'm loving it. It's about almost 5 o'clock and it's still light out, which is like a huge win for this area right now in the winter. 2 more. Last one. Okay, take a little break before our bend and stretch. Again, I'm going to move my leg open a little bit. Okay, so coming up for our bend and stretch, we're going to stretch out our leg, reach through that heel, come back into our tabletop. So again, think hip, knee, and ankle all at the same height. I'm not lifting my foot up super high. And as we get tired, we always want to dip our foot down and really lower it because we get lazy and tired. So try not to do that as well. And you're not alone. I've seen it on, hundreds of clients. Especially teaching group classes, I see everybody's leg go down. So I'll say, oh, like get up to your hip height, and then I see everybody's leg lift because everybody, gets fatigued and forgets about it. 2 more here. Last one. And then you can lower, tap it down. Okay, we are going to come up, and my favorites are squats, so we're gonna do some squats. So band stays around our knees. This is our finisher. As wide as you can so you feel that tension. And then you're going to get as low as you can. Our legs are warm, so no need to just do little, baby squats. And we're also not holding any weights. So maybe you can get down, all the way down and really push up. And maybe you can I'm doing it at a pretty good pace here. Again, since I'm not holding any weights. And this is our finisher, like I said. Make yourself proud here. Finish strong. You made it to the mat. That was the hardest part. So now you can finish. Let's do 4 here. Neck is long, so you're looking on the floor about 6 to 8 feet in front of you. Last 2. But of course, you know, we have a little something else. Last 1. Then we're going to stay low. We're going to flare out our right knee, bring it back in. Left knee out, back in. Right out, left out. Right and left. Try to stay low. You got it. For 4, 3, 2, stay low though. Last one, stay low. We're pulsing up and down. This is it. 8, 7, 6, pick that spot on the floor, start 5, 4, 3, 2, I'm burning 2, last one. Whew. Okay, stand up, shake it out. You can get rid of that band. Oh, I just remembered a move we didn't do. Oh well, next time, right? Okay, so for our stretch, again, just start to think of your breathing. It really helps your body turn on that parasympathetic nervous system, telling yourself it's time to recover. So you can grab your hand and your foot. If you need to hold on to something for this, do that. You're going to point your knee towards the ground. Open up your hips here. And then other side. Knee towards ground, opening up your hips. And then we can we'll do it sitting today. Crossing one ankle over the knee, and then you bring your other leg kind of in, so the closer in, the harder or the greater stretch it is. You could rock side to side like I am, or you can stay still. You can kind of push into it if you need a little bit more. And flexing your foot, I should mention. If you like to do this on your back too, you can just lie down, you know, like our normal figure 4s. Or pretzel stretch or whatever people, so many different names. And then switching sides. So I hope you enjoyed this little quick workout with just the band. As always, let me know if you like this, or if you want to see something else. I'm always looking for ideas and things to use and props and things. And then just finish with a couple of breaths, maybe twist it out. If you have more time, you can do another video or do a stretch. And as always, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.